Have you ever really thought about the grammar of your own life? No, seriously. I mean, the language you use every single day for your morning coffee, your commute, your job, it's all built on this one simple but really powerful foundation. So in this explainer, we're going to unlock the tense that you literally live in every single day.
Just take a second and actually picture it. Your alarm goes off. What's next? You get up, you brush your teeth, you make coffee. See? The words you're using in your head to describe all of that, that's the present simple. It's like the default setting for talking about your routine.
And that's really the magic of it, isn't it? This isn't just some boring grammar rule from a textbook. The present simple is the language we use to define ourselves. It's how we explain to everyone, and even to ourselves, who we are and what our reality looks like day after day.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Just think of the present simple as the blueprint. You know, the actual structure that builds the whole story of your daily life.
You know, theory is one thing, but to really get this tense, you've got to see it out in the wild. So with that in mind, let's meet Alex. We're going to follow them through a totally normal day and just watch the present simple in its natural habitat.
So Alex is a student. As we kind of shadow them, I want you to pay attention to how every repeated action, every little piece of their routine is described using this one tense. Just look at those verbs, wake, have, catch. They're so clean, so simple. They're just the basic form of the verb. Now here's a really common place where people get tripped up. They might say something like, Alex is waking up at 7, but that means something totally different. That would mean it's happening right this second. The present simple, though, tells us this is what Alex does every day. It's the rule, not the exception.
Okay, but life isn't always 100%, right? And this is where it gets interesting, because we can add some nuance. We use these great little words, adverbs of frequency, things like always, usually, or sometimes, to kind of fine-tune just how regular a routine is. So Alex always wakes up at 7. That's a given, but they only usually have toast.
And this is just the perfect little snapshot. You've got the action, clean, and it's locked in with the frequency, always. It paints this crystal clear picture of a habit you can count on. And that's the present simple doing its job perfectly.
All right, so Alex's routine is pretty clear. But have you picked up on something? When Alex says, I clean my teeth, the verb is just clean. But when we talk about Alex, we say Alex wakes up. See that? There's a tiny but absolutely critical change happening there. Let's zoom in on it.
So here's the deal. It's all about this little letter S. It might seem small, but believe me, it is one of the most important rules. Whenever your subject is a third person singular, so he, she, it, a name like Alex, or even a thing like the computer, the verb gets that little S tacked on at the end. I work, but she works. If you can get this right, you're going to sound so much more natural.
Of course, English, it always likes to keep things interesting. So it's not always just adding an S. This table here breaks it down. And it's mostly about making the words easier to say. If a verb ends in a hissing sound like sh or ch, we add es. Watch becomes watches. I mean, just try saying watches. It's awkward, right? And for verbs ending in a consonant plus a y, like study, that y changes to ies. So study becomes studies. These little spelling rules are the key to getting that S ending perfect every single time. Okay, so we can make positive statements about routines all day long. But, life isn't all yes. So how do we say no? And how do we ask a question? Well, for that, we need to call in some backup. The super helpful helper verbs.
Say hello to your new best friends, do not and does not, or as you'll almost always hear them, don't and doesn't. It's simple. For I, you, we, and they, you use don't. For he, she, and it, you use doesn't. And here is the best part. Look at the main verb, like drink. It drops that S and goes right back to its original simple form. That's because the helper verb is doing all the heavy lifting for you. And it's the same exact dynamic duo, do and does, that helps us ask questions. You just pop them right there at the beginning of the sentence. Does he go to the gym? Do you play the guitar? And look again, the main verb, go, play, is back in its simple base form. The helper verb is handling all the grammar. Easy, right? Okay, now this is where the present simple gets even more cool. We've been focusing a lot on routines, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. It also has a few other superpowers that help us describe the world in some really fundamental ways.
So beyond habits, we use it for these unchanging universal facts, like the Earth revolves around the sun. It just does. It's also for fixed schedules. The train leaves at 5 p.m. Now, even though 5 p.m. is in the future, the schedule itself is a present fact. And finally, it describes states of being. She seems happy. That's not an action she's doing, it's a state she is in.
Okay, this slide is huge. I mean, getting this difference is a major level-up moment in English. The present simple, Alex drinks coffee. That's their identity, their habit. The present continuous, Alex is drinking coffee. That is what is happening in this exact moment. One describes a general fact about a person, and the other describes an action happening right now. It's the difference between what do you do and what are you doing.
And this whole idea of states brings us to this really special group of verbs called stative verbs. Think of them as being verbs, not doing verbs. They're all about thoughts, feelings, possession, things you can't really see someone actively do, right? You can't watch someone knowing something. And that's exactly why we say Alex knows the answer and never Alex is knowing. These verbs pretty much always live in the present simple.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's pull all these ideas together and pack them into a simple, powerful toolkit that you can literally start using today.
Honestly, if you can just burn these 3 points into your brain, you've got this. Number 1, use it for things that are regular and true. Number 2, don't forget that super important S for he, she, and it. And 3, when you need to ask a question or say no, call in your helpers, do and does. That's really the core of the whole thing.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? We can sit here and talk about these rules all day long, but the real understanding, that aha moment, comes when you actually start using it.
So here's my challenge to you. For the rest of the day, I want you to be a present simple detective. Listen for it in conversations, spot it in news headlines, see it on schedules. You're going to be amazed at how this one tense is just constantly building the world all around you. So what's one core part of your routine you can describe perfectly with it? Think about it.